am soaked to the bone, guys. Could barely hear you because it is so very windy. I hope you can hear me. We are just absolutely soaked. Take a look behind me here. You can see we are at East Beach in New Bedford, right along the peninsula, so kind of along the hurricane barrier, but the other side of where it was calmer a little bit earlier this morning. You can see this inflatable park here. Now, just about a half hour ago, there were crews from the city trying to pull those pieces out. And in just the past few seconds, we saw several officers running down Canton Street, which you can see is right there. Let's take a look at this live active scene. Danielle, I just spoke with Coventry Fire Chief Frank Brown, who told me that while the flames are out here at this home, there is one person unaccounted for. They believe there was one person home at the time and they cannot find that person, and that's based on what neighbors believe happened here overnight. Now, this fire started about an hour ago when the calls came in, and even though fire crews got here quickly, you can see the house is gutted. It's down to the studs inside. The vice president visits on a mission like this. It's really to serve two purposes. First, here, it's to try to get the word out and spread awareness and support for the Biden administration's big plans right now, the American Families Plan and the American Jobs Plan, and also to hear from the real Americans, right? Hear from actual Rhode Islanders, not people just in Washington, about how they'll be impacted and how they will be implementing these plans locally. More people have just arrived, and in fact, someone just came up to me with an extra pair of these special solar glasses here so you can safely see the eclipse. The woman told me that she actually got these when they went to Nebraska in 2017 to watch that full eclipse back then. So people down here are serious about this. At a time when so many activities are limited due to safety concerns surrounding the pandemic, sailing is still an activity that prevails, and that's especially important for people of differing abilities. Well, the fire started just about 10 hours ago at this point now, and we're still seeing smoke coming from the building here behind me. Take a look. You can see some of that smoke here. At times you can smell a little bit of it. Now remember, Erica Murray has served the past 5 years behind bars at a women's correctional facility in Chicopee since her arrest back in 2014. So time served could be considered when she's sentenced later today. That sentencing is at 2 o'clock behind me here at Worcester Superior Court. Well, this reversal just came down on Tuesday following that week of uncertainty for students and faculty and administration of these universities. Several had joined 18 attorneys general in filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration earlier this week. We're live at the intersection of North Front Street and Tallman Street. This is the north end of New Bedford, and I'm going to show you where the investigation is focused right now. It's in between this corner building, 317 North Front Street, and the blue building behind it, both three-family homes. This has been an extremely gruesome scene here on 95 throughout the morning, but in the last half hour, a lot has changed here. I want to show you what we're seeing now.
Kait Walsh live in Providence at the Public Safety Complex, working to learn more about what happened last night and updating us on what investigators told us last night.
And actually, I just spoke with Providence Police Major David LePayton, who said there's no update just yet, but we are expecting to get one a little bit later on this morning from police. They spent the night interviewing the victims at Rhode Island Hospital. We saw several police cruisers there last night, and they're encouraging those victims to share what they know and not fear any retaliation. In English and Spanish.
Hay demasiadas armas en las calles.
Mayor Jorge Alorza in Providence Police saying the city has a gun problem and something needs to be done about it. Providence Police Chief Colonel Hugh Clements said several dozen rounds of gunshots were fired from at least 4 to 5 semi-automatic pistols in a shootout between two known feuding groups just before 7 o'clock Thursday evening on Carolina Avenue. That resulted in 9 victims, 8 men, 1 woman, at least 3 in critical condition at Rhode Island Hospital.
What's so frustrating with so many of these situations is oftentimes the victims know who's responsible, and we need the victims to step up, speak to the police, tell them who it is. Let the police, let us do our job.
The chief said the victims range in age from 19 to 25 years old and that this was a targeted shooting.
We have a good handle on everyone who was involved in this incident, and there's no need to give the public any information as to who we're looking for.
Just 5 months into the year of 2021, they've seen 19 gunshot wound victims and 7 homicides by gunfire. Live in Providence, I'm Kait Walsh, 12 News. We didn't hear any reports of anyone injured, but the earthquake was felt by people from the Boston area all the way through Rhode Island. And there's a hidden concern now moving forward that the New Bedford Fire Department is asking everyone to keep in mind.
We're lucky where it's nice and warm, so not a lot of people are using their heat right now.
It lasted just seconds, but Sunday morning's earthquake caused days of inconvenience ahead for nearly 24 New Bedford residents. When a tenant noticed minor damage inside his apartment, he checked the furnace in the basement, and good thing he did. 12 News got the exclusive tour of the damage around the furnace from District Fire Chief James Fortin. They had to shut off the gas utilities, prompting at least a dozen people in that three-family apartment building to be displaced. After we checked out the damage to that one chimney, the fire department went door to door, telling residents to check out the situation in their basements, and come to find out, right across the street was another chimney damaged by the earthquake. The neighbor shared this photo with us of his damage, an important advisory to everyone now who felt the earthquake just after 9 Sunday morning.
If you see any signs of cracking or certainly crumbling of your chimney in the basement or anywhere in your house, you should look up on your roof and check out your chimney. You should go ahead and call the fire department.
Just make sure that everybody's carbon monoxide detectors are up to date and are in working order, because that's going to be their first line of defense.
Philip McDonald thought he was hearing a crash outside.
I was pouring a cup of coffee, and I heard a loud bang, and then I felt like a shake, which lasted a few seconds. I looked down and realized I was pouring coffee on the counter because the counter was shaking, not me.
And in Dartmouth,
I was outside, right outside my house. I could feel the ground shake and kind of felt like an explosion.
it's expected that there could be some aftershocks, but it would be so small that residents wouldn't feel anything and there wouldn't be any damage. In New Bedford, I'm Kait Walsh, 12 News.